Howdy folks, welcome to my tiki bar. So what's the point of this video? Why am I making this video, and why do I have why do I have glasses here in front of me? Well, I want to talk about a little bit about how the body's energy systems work and why almost everybody gets this wrong. And by almost everybody, I mean, lay people, regular folk who are not professional athletes, who are not trainers, who are not nutritionists. They get it wrong. And a lot of people try and sell things to those of us who don't have that kind of knowledge because they know that we don't have a clue. And so they're taking advantage of our lack of knowledge in order to sell us stuff we don't really need, or that doesn't work, or that could actually go completely the opposite way of what we want. So what I've got here is an enormous measuring cup full of green stuff. Green because it'll just show up easier. I have some different sized glasses here. And these glasses I'm going to use to illustrate a few things. So, real simple. When you are doing any kind of athletic activity, when you're doing you're doing a run, or you're riding your bike, or you're doing intense weightlifting, you're playing a soccer game, something that requires you to expend a lot of energy from your muscles. The first thing that happens is your body pulls from the energy that's stored within your cells. That's called the ATP PCR system. You don't need to know what that stands for. If you want to look it up, you totally can. It's just important to know that the minute that you jump off the starting block, your body's pulling energy that's stored within your cells. So this is your ATP PCR system. And let's fill it up. Your ATP PCR system consists of roughly about 30 seconds worth of energy. So stored within your muscle tissues is 30 seconds of energy that you can use for activity. Interestingly enough, that sort of correlates with what sprinters do. So if you were an Olympic sprinter, say you're Usain Bolt, well, the thing that makes Usain Bolt better than everybody else isn't just his work ethic, it's that genetically speaking, he's got a killer ATP PCR system. He stores a little bit more than most people do. And so he's able to really just, and it's efficient. It's not just about how much you store, it's about how much, how efficient is your body at utilizing that stored stuff. So there you go. There's your ATP PCR system, 12 seconds worth of energy. Once you've exhausted that system, you have a slightly larger system, not that much larger, that is the amount of stored glycogen, which is glucose, the form of glucose that's stored within your muscle tissues. Interesting thing about muscle glycogen is that muscle glycogen can only be used by the muscles that it's stored in. So it can't be transported outside to other systems, it can't be shuttled around, it's got to be burned up. That's going to get you another minute. That stored glycogen in your muscles is going to get you another minute to 2 minutes, depending how efficiently your body uses it. Next up, the glycogen, again glucose, stored in your liver. This is about 12 minutes worth of energy. Once that's gone, that's it. So Think of it this way. Your body, you've eaten carbohydrates, you've eaten pasta, or you've eaten bread, or you've consumed some sort of starchy, simple carbohydrate. Once these three systems are full to capacity, your body can't do anything with it. So this is why the whole notion of carb loading is nonsense, because it really takes a very, very small amount of carbohydrate to provide this fuel. Now you do need carbohydrates, you know, over the course of the day. Your body needs, your nervous system needs glucose, and it needs, your brain needs glucose, your muscles, you need to be supplying it. But in terms of storage, this is all you've got in that system. This is the backup system, and we're gonna say it's evil Spock. This backup system is your stored body fat. Your liver not only can store glycogen for use by your muscle tissues once the ATP PCR system is used up and the muscle glycogen is used up, burns through this, then your liver starts converting your stored body fat into glucose. How much of it there is varies from one person to another. Now here's the thing. Let's say this is a healthy amount of stored body fat. This is an athletic amount that everybody needs in order to have their hormones function, in order to have their nervous system function properly, in order to have that reserve when they need it. This is basically what carb loading looks like. That makes kind of a mess, doesn't it? Does that seem smart? You can't overfill the tank. You overfill the tank, well, this is the funny part about this analogy. The thing about your body is, if you eat more than you need, this tank will get bigger. These three don't get bigger. Now, this one, your muscle glycogen, it can expand if you gain significant muscle mass, but not by a lot. Eating a plate of pasta the size of your torso the night before you do a big ride or a big run or you've got a game is not going to provide you with more fuel for that event. What it will provide you with is more of this. And while you do need it, your body can convert that into fuel. That system is slow, and it's not going to benefit you to overload that system. So this is where the whole, carbohydrates are not evil. There are certain situations in which you want to minimize your intake of them. If you've got a goal of losing body fat and gaining muscle mass, you probably want to minimize your carbohydrates, and you want to time them, their intake, so that they concur with your activity or happen immediately afterwards. Because immediately after you've done a lot of exercise, all three of these glasses are empty. And they're ready to be refilled. And if you refill them right after activity, they're receptive to it, and it's great. It doesn't go in this tank. Fills up these, doesn't go into stored body fat. You switch that the opposite way around. If all these tanks are full, and you take in some simple carbohydrates and starches, goes here. That makes sense? I hope so. I kind of wanted to play around and have fun with this. If you have questions, please ask me. I would love to refine this video and share it more broadly with people so that I can help more people. Because honestly, the level of ignorance about how this works that I see, the level of ignorance that I had, was kind of staggering to me. So that's what I've got for today. It's a beautiful sunny day. I need to get out on my bike and ride. I need to finish my chores, stop this kind of distraction stuff, and go ride. Anyway, have a great weekend. I'm thinking about all of you.